With so much of Earth's surface covered by the ocean, it's clear how essential these marine environments are to the planet and how much remains to be explored. As researchers work tirelessly to uncover more, we continue to deepen our understanding of the oceans. You won't believe some of the astonishing discoveries. Here are the 15 most shocking moments caught in the middle of the ocean. Number 15. Venom worm. From tapeworms that can infect humans to larger seafaring worms capable of regrowing their entire bodies should they be unlucky enough to get chopped in half. There are about 20,000 species of these bizarre worms, and they're a diverse group and they're deadly. They're common in every ocean around the world. Flatworms are usually more active when it's dark, when they skim the ground with elegant ruffles of their body edges, or even swim short distances in the water. So to see one like this in the day is a rare sight indeed. Plus, they're very, very flat, and being flat has its advantages. They can get into almost every kind of nook and cranny to get at their food. With no body cavity or specialized respiratory or circulatory organs, flatworms rely on diffusion to acquire their oxygen. Their flattened shape helps allow more nutrients and oxygen to pass through their bodies. And like other marine flatworms, it can propel itself through the water by undulating the edges of its body in a wave-like motion. They glide around the shores like liquid death. They're ferocious predators, and once they grab hold, it's a wrap. Number 14. Black hole. A satellite image taken with Google Maps went viral and sparked all kinds of speculation because of its appearance, since the geographical features look like a black hole. A social media user spotted the strange black hole in the middle of the Pacific Ocean when they were using Google Maps. The black hole seemed to be situated far away from any other countries or islands. It confused many people online, and lots of different ideas and suggestions were made as to what it could be. Some wondered whether it was an underground volcano, whereas others thought it might be a secret island or a military base. It was learned that its appearance is actually only an optical effect, and it was a bad satellite image of an uninhabited island in the Pacific. It turned out to be a small coral island, which is located nearly 4,000 miles east of Australia. It is Vostok Island and considered to be the first country in the world to disappear as the sea level rises as a result of global warming. The island has a lot of dense forests made up of trees that have grown tightly together. The trees are dark green but look black from the air, and that's why on Google Maps it looked like a black hole. Number 13. Caspian Sea Monster. In 1966, this Soviet plane began transportation to the testing grounds on the Caspian Sea, and it served in the Russian Navy from the late 1980s through the late 1990s. It was discovered by the USA during the Cold War and dragged onto the beach in Durban in July 2020. The colossal piece of machinery is 301 feet and 10 inches long with a wingspan of 123 feet and weighs over 1 million pounds. It's now known as the Caspian Sea Monster, and as you can see, it's currently beached in the Caspian Sea and taking on water. It's possible the craft may be hammered apart by Mother Nature before it can be repaired and put on display as a museum showpiece, as originally intended. It arrived on site before it was discovered there was nowhere to put the aircraft. The craft has reportedly been sitting in the surf ever since, with locals making multiple unsuccessful attempts to haul it into shore by hand. Meanwhile, the secret Soviet-era flying machine is set to become the star attraction in a new tourist site called Patriot Park. The site will include a military museum and theme park displaying an array of Soviet and Russian machinery and equipment. Number 12. Zombie-proof lighthouse. The internet has been marveling at what's been dubbed a paradise for an introvert. Located 6 miles from shore, it's one of the most isolated lighthouses in the world. Its Icelandic name translates to 3 rocks, as it's perched atop the highest of 3 steep islands, with the cold Atlantic Ocean thrashing around below on all sides. The lighthouse, built in 1939, can be found west of the Westman Islands off the coast of southern Iceland. The remote lighthouse was built right before the dawn of World War II, and building it was no easy task, as helicopters had yet to take to the skies when the work began in 1938. Builders scaled the cliffs to reach the pillar's pinnacle, laying out the groundwork by hand. They faced slick rocks, rain, and fervent winds, knowing that one slip could send them plunging into the frigid North Atlantic Ocean that thrashed and splashed below. Now, thanks to advances in aviation, maintenance workers take a helicopter to their far-flung beacon. Visiting the lighthouse is a daunting endeavor. One wrong step, and you just might find yourself going for an unplanned swim with the killer whales that sometimes lurk within the waves. But don't worry, there definitely won't be any zombies. Number 11. Frying Pan Tower. A couple decided to ride out Hurricane Matthew on the top of an abandoned Coast Guard station some 34 miles off the coast of North Carolina. Richard Neal, along with his fiancée, are owners of the Frying Pan Tower. Richard purchased the light station from the government after the Coast Guard abandoned it in 2004, saying GPS and radar made the light station obsolete for ships navigating the waters here. The platform is about 100 feet above the ocean and is only reachable by helicopter or boat. As the storm approached, the couple stocked up on supplies, including canned food, water, and flashlights, knowing they'd be completely cut off from the mainland. The howling winds and relentless rain made the tower creak and groan, but Richard remained confident in its sturdy design, which had withstood decades of storms. At one point, the couple joked about the absurdity of their situation, sipping coffee while watching waves crash violently against the steel legs of the tower. Despite the chaos outside, they found moments of peace, marveling at the raw power of nature from their unique vantage point. The experience, though nerve-wracking, only strengthened their bond and their appreciation for the tower's resilience. Their decision to stay also drew attention online, with thousands of viewers tuning in to their live broadcast to witness the storm from such an unusual perspective. This is an interesting way to ride out a storm. Richard Neal grabbed his deck chair and placed it on the roof of the rusty rig in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean before laying back and attempting to relax as the monster storm swirled around him. At one stage, the eye of the hurricane passed directly overhead, and for a short period of time, everything was calm. Richard ended up broadcasting the view of the storm live from his tower on his webcam. Hurricane-force winds led to huge waves battering the rusty and rickety structure. While the 360-degree views of sunsets and sunrises are amazing, there's no land in sight, and the couple rents the tower out as a vacation home, touting the mild weather and world-class fishing as but two of the many reasons to rent it. Now it's time for today's topic. In May 2025, a vessel carrying over 80 refugees attempting to cross the Mediterranean Sea from Libya towards southern Europe experienced a terrifying encounter that has since made headlines around the world. Roughly 40 nautical miles off the Libyan coast, the overcrowded wooden boat drifted into open waters when a massive shark surfaced just meters away, prompting panic on board. The shark, described by naval observers as being over 50 feet long, breached dramatically, sending a wall of seawater into the air. Members of the nearby Italian Naval Patrol filmed the moment with onboard surveillance systems, originally deployed to monitor migration activity and ensure safety. Footage shows the enormous creature circling the boat briefly before vanishing beneath the waves. Marine biologists reviewing the video believe the shark could be a rare sighting of a megamouth or a possibly undocumented deep-sea species, though some speculate it resembled artistic reconstructions of the extinct Megalodon. All passengers were later rescued and safely transported to Lampedusa. While no one was harmed, the fear on board was unforgettable. Officials have not publicly released the full footage, but whispers in marine research circles suggest this may be the most compelling evidence yet of a deep-sea predator thought long extinct. Number 10. Luxury sports car fire. Thousands of Porsches, Audis, and Lamborghinis were marooned on an unmanned, burning cargo ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean recently. Crew members of the 650-foot-long Felicity Ace were evacuated from the transport ship to a hotel in the Azores Islands as the ship was adrift 100 miles away from the Portuguese archipelago. The ship had been en route to Rhode Island from Germany. There were 3,965 Volkswagen AG vehicles on board, including 1,100 Porsches. The fire, which reportedly started in the cargo hold, quickly spread, fueled by the lithium-ion batteries in the electric vehicles on board. These batteries are notoriously difficult to extinguish once ignited, requiring specialized firefighting techniques that are challenging to deploy at sea. Rescue teams faced significant hurdles in containing the blaze, as the thick smoke and intense heat made it nearly impossible to board the vessel. Environmentalists also raised concerns about the potential ecological impact, with fears of oil spills and toxic chemicals leaking into the ocean. Meanwhile, car enthusiasts and collectors around the world mourned the loss of rare and custom-built models that were likely irreplaceable. The incident has sparked discussions about the safety protocols for transporting electric vehicles and the risks associated with shipping high-value goods across oceans. Volkswagen's parent company manufactures its Volkswagen brand as well as Porsche, Audi, and Lamborghini models, all of which were on board too. Our immediate thoughts are of relief that the 22 crew of the merchant ship Felicity Ace are safe and well, a spokesperson for Porsche said. Anyone concerned by this incident and the implications on the car they've ordered should contact their Porsche dealer, an official statement read. No kidding, the giant cargo ship had $334.5 million in burning cars on board. A consulting firm estimated in a report the salvage cost alone is estimated to be $150 million, bringing the total loss for the ship to $500 million. That's a lot of burning rubber. Number 9. Disappearing Island. 40 years ago, this was home to a thriving fishing community. Children from the village across the bay used to sail over and spend happy weeks camping. Today, these are the remains of this once verdant rainforest island, its coconut palms and its wooden homes in the wreck of a sea oak jutting 8 feet out of the sea. The Solomon Islands is a nation of hundreds of islands in the South Pacific. Scientists describe the Solomons as a sea level rise hotspot. The loss of these islands is not just a geographical tragedy but a cultural one, as oral histories, traditions, and ancestral burial sites are being swallowed by the sea. Families who have lived on these islands for generations are being forced to abandon their heritage, leaving behind memories and sacred places. The emotional toll is immense, as many feel a deep connection to the land that has shaped their identity. Efforts to adapt, such as building seawalls or relocating entire villages, are costly and often unsustainable. International aid has been slow to arrive, leaving many communities to fend for themselves against the rising tides. The Solomons are a stark reminder that climate change is not a distant threat but a present reality for millions. Levels are being forced up by melting polar ice caps and glaciers, plus the expansion of water because of warmer temperatures. And this was among the first 5 islands confirmed to have been lost to rising sea levels. The drowning islands of the Solomons are a warning of what lies in store for coastal communities and island dwellers around the world. Climate change is also destroying the mangroves, the delicate ecosystems they support, and the biodiversity that flourishes there. Where villagers grew crops on Kale Island, planted coconut trees, and built homes on stilts, they're now just rocks on the white sandy seabed. A whole way of life has been wiped off the face of the earth. For many Solomon Islanders, relocating is not as simple as just getting up and leaving. Number 8. Ship basketball. Talk about a ferry ride from hell. Not for this person, however. Why not turn an abandoned ship deck into a basketball court? Although we suggest never trying this for yourself, it does make for a killer TikTok video. To attempt to shoot some hoops on a rocky sea, this person couldn't just stick to the safety inside the boat's cabin. Balancing on the swaying deck, they had to contend with strong winds, slippery surfaces, and the constant motion of the waves beneath them. Each dribble of the ball seemed like a gamble, as it could easily roll off the edge of the deck and into the ocean. The sheer audacity of attempting a jump shot while the ferry tilted with the waves left viewers both impressed and horrified. Onlookers in the video can be seen laughing nervously, unsure whether to cheer or call for the daredevil to stop. The clip quickly went viral, sparking debates about whether this was a display of creativity or recklessness. Some commenters joked that it was the ultimate test of ball handling skills, while others pointed out the obvious dangers of playing basketball on a moving ferry. A ferry is a boat or ship that's used to take people, vehicles, or goods across large bodies of water, such as seas, lakes, and rivers. In many places around the world, ferries are very important for public transport. Some of these places can only be reached by ferry because they have no roads or railways with bridges or tunnels that join them to nearby places, nor do they have any locations at which to land airplanes. But who knew they could also be a perfect place for a game of basketball? Although this ferry daredevil didn't sink any buckets, they certainly entertained a lot of people with this clip. But we can't stress enough that if you ever find yourself in this situation, do your best to listen to staff, follow protocol, and leave the b-ball attempts to pros or cease. As you can see, this baller is taking their life into their own hands. Number 7. Blind surfer. Derek Rebello, who was named after the first Hawaiian world surfing champion, Derek Ho, was born blind. The condition meant that the dreams of his surfing-mad father were put on hold despite always wanting to experience the thrill of the sport. However, this Brazilian hasn't let any physical limitations hold him back, eventually exceeding his dad's dream to surf the world's biggest breaks. Rebello was raised by the beach in the Brazilian town of Guarapari, nurtured by caring family and friends. As Rebello says, "The love surrounding me kept me going and enabled me to lead a normal life." The sea was his childhood soundtrack, beckoning him closer like a fish to water. He could hear the waves from the bedroom window and wanted to surf more than anything. Learning to surf blind was no easy feat, requiring him to rely on his heightened senses of hearing and touch to navigate the ocean. He learned to listen to the rhythm of the waves, feeling their energy and timing his movements with precision. His instructors were amazed by his determination, as he would fall repeatedly but always get back on the board with a smile. Over time, Rebello developed a unique style of surfing, using his instincts and connection to the water to guide him. His story began to inspire others, and soon he was invited to surf some of the most famous waves in the world, including Hawaii's Pipeline. For Rebello, surfing became a way to prove that limitations are only as strong as the barriers we allow them to be. It was Rebello's dad who encouraged him to try new sports and adventures. Ernesto owned a surf shop and gave Rebello his first surfboard for his 17th birthday. Surfing became an addiction from the first splash, but Rebello lacked technique. After a few failed attempts to surf with family and friends, he signed up for surf school lessons. It's not about sport for him, it's about pushing boundaries to enjoy a full life. Number 6. Yanaguni Monument. They call it the Japanese Atlantis. These ruins cover an area spanning 984 feet by 492 feet. It's a series of immense geometric terraces with broad, flat horizontal surfaces and sheer vertical stone risers. Known as the Yanaguni Monument, The submerged stone structures lying just below the waters of an island in Japan are actually the ruins of an ancient city sunk by an earthquake about 2,000 years ago. The intricate design of the monument has sparked debates among archaeologists and geologists, with some arguing that the sharp angles and precise cuts are evidence of human craftsmanship. Others believe the formations could be the result of natural geological processes, shaped by tectonic activity and underwater currents over millions of years. Divers exploring the site have reported finding what appear to be steps, platforms, and even carvings resembling animals and faces, further fueling the mystery. The site has also become a hotspot for conspiracy theories, with some speculating that it could be the remnants of a lost advanced civilization. Despite the controversy, the Yanaguni Monument continues to attract researchers and adventurers eager to uncover its secrets. Its enigmatic beauty and historical significance make it one of the most fascinating underwater discoveries in the world. It lies in an earthquake-prone region, so that's likely how these ancient structures ended up in the sea. They're the ruins of a castle, a triumphal arch, 5 temples, and at least one large stadium, all of which are connected by roads and water channels. It's clearly a diver's paradise. The sea here is a popular diving location during the winter months. The monument was first discovered in 1986 by a diver searching for a good spot to observe hammerhead sharks. Experts were convinced that the site was carved thousands of years ago when the land mass was above water. Yanaguni is composed of sandstone and mudstone that dates back 20 million years. If the monument was carved by human hands, it was during the last ice age about 10,000 years ago, when Yanaguni was part of a land bridge that connected the site to Taiwan. Number 5. Dinghy Husband. A Vietnamese man was rescued from an inflatable boat after he was found paddling alone toward India to see his wife. A steersman for a fishing boat reported that a man was seen paddling an inflatable boat miles away from the Somalian islands, so some sailors and marine park rangers traveled to the location and reached the fishing boat not long after. There, they found Hong Hong in a rubber boat. The man was found with no map, compass, GPS, or change of clothes and only a limited amount of water. He had been surviving on instant noodles and sips of water, rationing his supplies carefully to make them last as long as possible. The harsh sun and salty sea air had left him sunburned and dehydrated, but he remained determined to reach his destination. Hong said he often paddled through the night, guided only by the stars, while battling exhaustion and loneliness. At times, he encountered rough waves that nearly capsized his small boat, but he clung to his dream of reuniting with his wife. He admitted that he had underestimated the dangers of the journey but felt he had no other choice. His story of love and perseverance touched the hearts of those who rescued him. The 6-foot boat contained a nearly empty water bottle, about 10 packets of instant noodles, and a suitcase. The Vietnamese man told them he was paddling to India to meet his Indian wife in Mumbai. They were married 2 years ago. The man said he arrived at an airport from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. At the airport, he planned to board another flight to India but was unable to obtain a visa. Instead, he took a bus from Bangkok to Phuket and bought the inflatable boat. He launched it with his sights set on paddling his way to India, about 1,200 miles away. Fishermen found him after he had spent 18 nights alone in the sea. Officials brought him to the mainland to arrange for assistance to be reunited with his love. Number 4. Glass octopus. Before this expedition, there has been limited live footage of the glass octopus. Up till now, scientists had to learn about the animal by studying specimens found in the guts of predators. But an underwater robot filmed it gracefully soaring through the deep waters northeast of Sydney, Australia. This rarely seen glass octopus bared all during a 34-day journey in a remote corner of the Pacific Ocean. The footage revealed the octopus's mesmerizing movements as it glided effortlessly through the water with its nearly invisible body. Its transparency is thought to be a form of camouflage, helping it evade predators in the deep, dark waters. Researchers were fascinated by the way its internal organs seemed to float within its body, offering a rare glimpse into its anatomy. The discovery also raised questions about how such a delicate creature survives in the harsh conditions of the deep sea, where pressure and temperature are extreme. The team noted that the glass octopus's unique adaptations could hold clues to understanding other deep-sea species. This newfound footage has sparked interest in further exploring the mysterious ecosystems of the aphotic zone. Scientists made not 1 but 2 sightings of this rare creature, whose only visible features are its optic nerve, eyeballs, and digestive tract, and lucky us, it's some of the only live footage of glass octopuses ever recorded. The biologists aboard the research vessel were conducting high-resolution seafloor mapping of the remote Phoenix Islands when they spotted it. In addition to producing the viral footage of the glass octopus, the researchers conducted a series of experiments while on board the ship, and the footage of the rarely seen, nearly transparent, alien-looking cephalopods made waves across the internet. These octopuses mostly live in the aphotic zone, meaning deep waters where sunlight doesn't reach, at around 3,000 feet. They can grow to about 1.5 feet long and are estimated to live about 2 to 5 years. Number 3. Stranded sailor. After spending 4 years marooned aboard a cargo ship in Egypt, 2 of those years alone, Mohammed Aisha has been finally allowed to fly home to Syria. He was trapped aboard a cargo ship locked in a legal dispute with Egyptian authorities. According to reports, the ship was detained at the Egyptian port near the Suez Gulf in 2017 because of expired safety equipment and classification certificates. The crew members were repatriated and left the ship in August 2019, but since Aisha had received the detention order while the ship's captain was away from the vessel, he was designated the ship's legal guardian and was told he could not leave. With no clear resolution in sight, Aisha found himself stuck in a bureaucratic nightmare, unable to appeal the decision or find a way out. He described the experience as mentally and physically draining, with each day feeling like an eternity. Food and water supplies were often scarce, forcing him to ration what little he had to survive. The isolation took a toll on his mental health, as he spent countless days without human interaction, staring out at the endless sea. Despite the dire circumstances, Aisha clung to hope, often imagining the day he would finally reunite with his family. His story gained international attention, with human rights organizations and maritime unions advocating for his release. This designation happened without his understanding at the time and without his consent. He spent 2 years as the ship's sole crew member, 4 years in total. "I was in a solitary prison, and now I'm free," he told the press from his home in Syria. The ship was without power and covered in insects and rodents. The poor man had to swim ashore to charge his phone and get groceries before returning to the ship. He said the nights were spent in complete darkness and silence, and one of the worst parts of his seabound exile was knowing that a boat carrying his brother, who also works in the industry, passed by multiple times. Number 2. The Ocean Atlas. This beautiful installation in the Bahamas makes a statement. Entitled Ocean Atlas, it encourages coral colonization and deters tourists from endangered reefs. Located off the west coast of Nassau, Ocean Atlas is a contemporary take on the ancient Greek myth of Atlas, a titan condemned to carry the heavens on his back for eternity. Forged from sustainable, pH-neutral materials designed to kickstart local coral growth, Ocean Atlas is a monumental public sculpture submerged almost 20 feet beneath the sea. The sculpture was carefully designed to blend seamlessly with its underwater surroundings, creating a harmonious balance between art and nature. Over time, marine life has begun to claim the statue as its own, with corals, sponges, and small fish making it their home. This transformation not only enhances the beauty of the piece, but also contributes to the restoration of the surrounding reef ecosystem. Divers who visit the site often describe the experience as otherworldly, with the statue appearing to rise from the ocean floor like a mythical guardian. The installation has also become a symbol of environmental awareness, drawing attention to the urgent need to protect our oceans. Its presence has inspired similar projects around the world, proving that art can play a vital role in conservation efforts. Towering 18 feet tall and weighing in at more than 60 tons, reportedly the largest sculpture ever deployed underwater. This statue is a young Bahamian girl sustaining the ceiling of the ocean. Artist, photographer, naturalist, and diver Jason DeCaires Taylor introduced this record-breaking public sculpture to the crystal Bahamian waters in 2014. At low tide, the work reflects a mirror image on the underside of the sea surface, and it's a favorite for divers around the world, and we can see why. Taylor's website explains, "Our oceans and coral reefs currently collapse from numerous threats, including overfishing, habitat loss, ocean acidification, global warming, and water pollution." And this was his creative response and powerful statement of love toward the ocean. Number 1. High School Ship. A middle school project made an amazing odyssey spanning 8,300 miles and 462 days, finally landing in the hands of another middle schooler. The New Hampshire Junior High School class project, thought to be lost at sea, was found over a year later halfway around the world. The nearly 6-foot-long vessel, named the Rye Riptides, was crafted by students and packed with homemade artwork and goodies. It was launched in October of 2020, but after the traveling time capsule's GPS went silent during the journey, the fate of Rye Riptides was anyone's guess. The students had carefully sealed the boat to protect its contents, hoping it would survive the unpredictable ocean conditions. They included letters, drawings, and even a small flag representing their school, all of which were meant to connect with whoever found it. As the boat drifted across the vast Atlantic, it faced powerful storms, strong currents, and the constant threat of being lost forever. Despite these challenges, the little vessel managed to stay afloat, becoming a symbol of resilience and curiosity. The students back in New Hampshire had all but given up hope, assuming their project had been swallowed by the sea. Little did they know, their creation was on an incredible journey, crossing international waters and defying the odds. The boat came back online during hurricane season, registering plot points in August and September around the same latitude as Ireland. Then it vanished again. On January 30th, they learned the boat had appeared to hit land just west of a small island in Norway. Then, for 162 days after it set sail, the boat was found by a sixth grader on the small Norwegian island of Smala. It had lost its hull and keel on the journey and was covered in barnacles, but the deck and cargo hold were still intact. The sea-battered and barnacle-laden vessel was brought to the students' class, where it was cracked open to reveal its treasure trove of knickknacks. Since then, both classes met virtually to discuss their respective roles in the incredible Riptide Odyssey. Hands down, these videos are some of the strangest things we've ever seen in the Big Blue Sea. And for sure, there's a lot more where that came from. The ocean is good like that,